Well, it's Saturday morning, the 28th of March. We're about 10 miles east of Currituck Beach right now. And this is bringing back memories of sailing Maine during the summers when I was a kid. This was an all too common condition, fog. And it is, you can see, it's pea soup. It's socked right in. We got about maybe 300 feet of visibility. Nope, just can't see a bloody thing out here. So, well, at least I can pick up the big ships on AIS. We probably should be sounding our foghorn here. Ahoy, everybody! It is Saturday, the 28th of March, 2020. And we're closing with the Virginia coast, with Virginia Beach. Can't see it yet. We're still about 15 miles out. I just checked my cell phone. No cell phone reception yet, but we're getting close. So it's about 30 miles to run to Cape Henry. And then about another 30 miles to Deltaville. So we got about 60 miles left to run. Last I checked, the last weather forecast I got from the inReach is just looking at basically moderate southerly winds. Hopefully I can get something a little more detailed once we get into cell phone range. I can get some cell data and pull up windy. Well, this morning that fog bank was a lot of fun. And so I was saying, it reminded me of sailing the coast of Maine in the summer back when I was a kid, and I'd sail with my dad. And the other memory it brought back was all the fun of playing Dodge Freighter in the fog. I had 3 of them, 2 of them going with me and passed on my starboard side, and 1 passed on my port side. And of course now I have AIS, so at least I could have some assurance we weren't going to collide. But it's pretty scary when you hear their horns going. Then they get close enough so you can hear the engines, and but you can't see a damn thing. I mean, they're just out there. And so, boy, that's as I said, I forgot how much fun it is sailing in the fog. And so anyway, we also have very pleasant sailing. Yeah, it's just kind of steering a deep broad reach here, and it's generally been about 8 to 10 knots out of the south most of the day, and not too much swell. We're rolling a little, but not bad. So it's comfortable sailing. Hopefully these south winds will prevail so we can sail right on into Deltaville. At this rate, probably we'll get there very early tomorrow morning. So we'll see what happens. As I say, I'm waiting to hopefully get in cell range, and so I can get a much more complete weather forecast and get a better idea about what's going to happen. Actually, the sun is fairly warm, but you get out of the sun and it's pretty chilly, and this water's chilly. The water temperature is in the low 50s Fahrenheit. So it's still early spring. The other thing about being here in the early spring is, I mean, it's Saturday and there's absolutely nobody out here, just commercial vessels, just the big freighters. So I've got the whole place to myself. Well, it's Sunday, the 29th of March, 2020, and we're arriving in Deltaville. No, just kidding. We're still sitting here drifting off of Virginia Beach. These winds went light last night, light and variable, and so we've been just kind of drifting and sailing, mainly just trying to keep from drifting up on Virginia Beach and drifting into the traffic lanes. So far we're managing that. But I am able to get a data connection And the weather models aren't much use. They're all pretty much saying different things. Other than there's a stalled front, which is right over us right now. And eventually, it's going to lift north as a warm front, so we're going to start getting southerly winds. They were originally saying that was going to happen last night, but it looks like this front has remained stalled. And so hopefully they'll be right, and these winds will start building in from the south. Although the Ventus Sky model is saying it's going to start building in from the east first. European model says it's going to build in from the southwest. Yeah, the NAM model is also saying southwest. So hopefully it'll start building in from the southwest, 2 against 1. And but in any case, it'd be nice to get a favorable wind, because we're just drifting here, and we seem to have about a knot of south-setting current. So the longer we drift, the more time we got to spend recovering our lost ground. So anyway, hopefully we'll get some wind soon, and we'll talk to you later. Good news, bad news. Good news is the wind came in, and the Ventus Sky model wins the prize because it's almost northeast now. So we're just able to lay the course toward Cape Henry. The bad news is it brought the fog with it. And since I'm not too far from shore here, it means I got to be on deck with eagle eyes. Just in case there's other boats out here like myself that are not pinging on AIS. It is about 1800 hours, Sunday, 29th of March, 2020, and we are entering the Chesapeake Bay. In through the Chesapeake Channel. And why is my AIS alarm going off? And it could be that other sailboat up there. A lot of sailboats nowadays are pinging on AIS. So of course, right when we got in the cut there, the wind died. We're just kind of flopping around, and we're still fighting a little bit of current. Hopefully, this should be about low tide right now, so hopefully that means the current's going to turn in our favor. Although I've been often just completely bedeviled by these currents on the bay. But it makes sense. If it's flooding and we're going up the bay, then we should have the current with us. Anyway, so we're in smoother water now. So I don't know why the wind had to die right in the cut there. I mean, the sea gods have just been putting the beat down on me all year. Well, we're just about just a couple of miles in from the Bay Bridge. So we're still at the mouth of the bay. We're still rolling a little, but it's remarkably smooth. It just reminds you of how difficult the ocean can make your life, especially on that Gulf Stream. That's usually, the Gulf Stream's often just an amusement park ride. And so, you know, if the Gulf Stream is the old country road with giant potholes, then you get onto the bay and it's just like a freshly paved road. They're just moving right along. So we arrived in Fishing Bay just after midnight, and spent a couple of days there waiting for a usable wind to get into Jackson Creek. And the winds are forecast to be easterly, and that's about what we got. So it's a usable wind. However, all I was looking at was the wind forecast and not the regular forecast, so I didn't realize it would be raining today as well. But that's okay. Just throw on the foul weather gear and we're good. So now we're entering this Z-shaped entrance into Jackson Creek. Here's the first two red and green markers. And is what always seems to happen when I have a wind coming anywhere out of the east is that it comes forward on me. So you can see I'm cranking the mainsail in, but I'm still in a close reach, so we're still okay for now. And of course the wind starts to get light and fickle. And continues to come forward, but you can see the green right off to the left side of the screen there. And that's our turning point, so got enough momentum just to carry us over. So then we can bear away and head down the next leg of the entrance. So now we're on the last line segment of the Z there. We're sailing into Jackson Creek. And I got the whole anchorage to myself, partly because it's early in the season and partly because of the situation with the virus. We're on lockdown. So I'm just going forward to drop anchor. And she's got a little bit of way on her, so we're going to do a flying anchor set. So I'm letting the anchor chain pay out right now. And there, I just tacked it down. And the anchor bit, so you can see she's spinning around on her heel there. So the plan was to haul out at the Deltaville Boatyard, where I'd hauled before. However, when I spoke to them, they told me that while they could haul my boat out, I would not be allowed to work on the boat while she was in the yard, which completely defeats the purpose. So, made a few phone calls, and True North Boatyard, which is on the other side of the peninsula, said they can both haul me out, and I can work on the boat and stay on the boat while she's in the yard. So that's the new plan. But of course that means I got to sail back out of the tricky entrance into Jackson Creek, and then sail out around Stingray Point, and then into the equally tricky Broad Creek. Well, at least we have a nice day for sailing. And again, pretty much zero boat traffic, so makes things generally easier. So now I'm preparing to sail into Broad Creek. I'm just flaking down the staysail halyard so I can drop the staysail quickly. So I'm sailing into tight quarters here. So what I was concerned about was the current sweeping me off the channel. However, my instinct was correct. Once I worked my way in the channel, the current gradually went down to, went pretty much slack. I have almost no current here. So I dropped the staysail and I'm sailing in under the Maine. And receiving a call from the boatyard, wondering if I could get them an updated ETA. Yeah, I'm working on it. So we're entering Broad Creek now, and I'm eyeing the situation with some trepidation. The winds are fluky, and it is a rather tight place. Not a hell of a lot of room to maneuver here. And there's a green channel marker, which I'm going to try to leave to port, as I don't have a detailed chart of Broad Creek, which is unfortunate, because I could have saved myself a lot of headaches if I'd known that there was enough water on the other side of the green for me to sail over. But anyway, I'm going to try to round the green here. So she's slowly coming about. So I bring her around, but the wind comes forward on me. It's bouncing around, so I'm on the sculling oar trying to keep her moving forward. And she has momentum, and I can scull into about 7 knots of wind. Anything over that, I just can't generate enough thrust with the oar. And the wind continues to head me, and she's slowing down, and she's slipping off to leeward. So I'm going to have to just fend off the marker. Oh, that girl is heavy. And then the reefing line on the mainsail catches the marker. I try to push the mainsail out of the way, but no, we're snagged. And here comes the beatdown. You can see it. Look at this gust of wind. It's a good 15 knots. And she's falling off the wind, and it's just going to pin me right on the channel marker. So now I'm trying to free that reefing line. Finally managed to untie enough lines that I get it free, so we're free now. Except for the dinghy. The dinghy still has to go around the channel marker. But at least the boat is free. And so I dropped anchor. And here comes the boatyard with their towboat to tow me the rest of the way to the travel lift slip. So prepare the tow line to toss. Heave, and it is received. Make it fast forward. And away we go. Well, this is a lot easier than sailing, isn't it? And so, all's well that ends well.